enthusiastic, no? Energy. Can you tell me about yourself?
Yes, hi. So my name is Faye, and currently I'm studying at Southern New Hampshire. I am pursuing my Associate of Arts with a specialization in business. I find that my studies is really giving me deep insight into the business and marketing aspects, which will be very beneficial for this particular role.
Mm-hmm.
I also worked in cosmetics for 15 years. So I have experience in marketing, leadership skills, selling skills, and training.
In your education, did you conduct any short courses or training?
Yes, I have. I have also completed short courses in digital marketing, conflict management, conflict in the workplace, and foundations of everyday leadership. These are short courses which I believe that is also beneficial in the workplace, because you're always surrounded with conflict, and you should always make sure that you keep yourself educated and you learn new things just to stay current.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your past experience, your work experience?
Sure. My work experience, like I've mentioned, I've worked in cosmetics for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 2001, and I started with a lead brand called Clarins, the House of Clarins, and for Clarins, I was trained by the most amazing ambassadors. I received extensive sales training, but most of all, I was trained by an ambassador which really inspired me. She loved the brand. I listened to everything she was saying, and the way she was portraying herself, she was completely the brand. And ever since then, wherever I work, I love the brand. I believe in being an ambassador. And up to today, I was always able to inspire others to be the ambassador through me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I then moved. Once I stayed with Clarins for 5 years, I outgrew the position, and I needed a bigger platform. My next platform became Woolworths, which I really enjoyed. I worked in Woolworths Cavendish as the counter manager for the Woolworths brand. At that brand, I learned teamwork. I learned how to sell really low costing products. As you can imagine, Clarins is high-end French brand. Mm-hmm. So compared to 1,000 rand for a day cream, I now had to sell a day cream that cost 120 rand. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I am really proud of myself was that also I find that consultant treats staff different based on what they are purchasing. So I was able to really treat customers like they are spending 1,000 rand, and that is how I became successful at Woolworths. Sorry, my throat.
Okay.
That's how I became successful at Woolworths. And after Woolworths, because of my success and my reputation that I've grown and built, I got headhunted by L'Oreal Cosmetics as the area manager.
Oh.
Yes. I stayed at L'Oreal area manager. I was in that position for 3 years.
Okay. What did you do at L'Oreal?
At L'Oreal was, like I mentioned, I was the area manager, but I also was the spokesperson for the cosmetic brands, which included Lancome, YSL, as well as the fragrance department of our brand. So I was the a spokesperson for each brand. I conducted customer events, mm-hmm. and my role was mainly to gain market share.
Did you do anything relating to training?
Yes, I also conducted sales training.
Okay.
I conducted sales training for bigger groups. I would go out to companies that we would outsource for promotions, and I would train those staff. So that was my duty. And also what I really enjoy also is one-on-one trainings. I find with one-on-one trainings, I'm really getting to the heart of the consultant, and from there I'm able to really help bring them out their talents.
Okay. Can you describe a time when you worked well on your team?
Sure. I love teamwork. the first time I worked for a team where it was really impactful, which changed my life, was at Woolworths. Woolworths celebrates special events once a year, and they really spend a lot of money on events. And there's also a big hype, and the main objective of these events is to gain market share. So there's a big hype with the event, there's a big free gift, and there's also big prizes to be won as a department. And before I worked there, they never ever made the target. Like we were never featured as one of the top stores. And on my second year working at Woolworths, our manager decided that we need to work as a team. And at that moment, we were not a team. It was unhealthy competition, and it was also enemies. Girls were just not getting along. So when our manager suggested the teamwork, we were forced to our task was to work as a team, to come up with our own ideas, on how to actually make the target and how to actually win. And there's a few amazing things that came out of this training. The first one is that girls changed my perspective. Girls that would never speak, girls that doesn't perform on counters, came up with brilliant ideas. And I was really, really struck by the power of diversity, because it's different backgrounds, different views on and different education about clients. And once everybody started speaking, we were able to feed off those great ideas and make it bigger, including myself. I am creative by nature, but my ideas were also just added, that it became bigger and bigger. And we as a team were able to put together a 2-week, I'm not sure if I mentioned that the event lasts over 2 weeks, and we were able to put together a daily target for each counter and for the department, and we had themes. We dressed as a team, and we actually felt unified. But the excitement that we created, the clients, it attracted clients that wasn't not even invited, but we pre-planned our event as well. We invited our clients. Another thing that stood out for me was no one was brand conscious in that promotion, because that's one of our biggest faults, was we would let clients go just because I'm not able to work on your brand, because that's not I'm done work for the brand. But one of the key things that worked for us and that we decided as a team was to not let any client leave that counter, that store, without having the best experience. And that really, for us, I think, to be honest, I think that helped us make our target. So for me, that was the best time of teamwork, and we as a team were able to continue to work as a team after that. We won. For the first time, we won the competition. We won a prize of 500 Rand, and the store itself also gave us an additional prize, which was not mentioned in the beginning. And we as a team decided to have a braai together instead of taking the money, which before that teamwork would have been the case. But some of us are still friends. We really saw our talents, and we really impressed one another.
Okay, that's very nice. Can you describe a situation when you had too much things to do, and how did you prioritize?
Sure. As an area manager for L'Oreal, my job is not to sell. We employ staff, but my job is to make sure that we make the target. So because of that, I plan my budget for the month for the stores to ensure that we are going to reach our target. And we had a big event arranged, and that event was going to make our target. That was the budget. And one of my strongest consultants was not able to come to work. So that was going to mean we will all fail. And as an area manager, I decided, but I do sell well, and I love selling it. And secretly, I was missing selling to clients. So I planned with the existing consultant, the second consultant on counter, to invite some clients, and for early bookings, because I still had my existing duties, which was very important. For example, admin, making sure the consultants will receive their pay, their salaries and their commissions. I have to submit their hours and that sort of thing. I also had at that time meetings booked, which was really important. So what I had to do is I had to prioritize. I prioritize my duties based on urgency. What was important to the company, what meetings I cannot miss, which was really crucial for myself for my career, for my business, but also for the company. And I managed through my prioritizing skills to make sales in the morning with those clients that was invited. I could then leave and attend to meetings that was important, my important meetings, come back to the store, and then we would have more clients. And I did that throughout the day, where I would be on counter, make sure that I make sales, and also really also showed my team how to actually sell, to be the successful consultant amongst other consultants that's also selling fragrances better than you. I was really able to attract clients from outside the store to actually come into our store and sell. And I actually also left it as a training model for the staff, so they can see how it's done, and also just know that you cannot stand also on counter. You have to be proactive. And I really enjoyed it actually, but I was very proud of myself that I did not compromise my important duties. Yeah,
that's nice. Can you tell us the time you had to go over and beyond your duties?
Okay. I've one situation that I'm really proud of. When I worked at Woolworths, I was brand new at Woolworths. When I came to the brand, I wasn't making the amount of money that I thought I would. Because the price points are low, it makes sense to make more money, to make a lot of money, because it's cost effective, but it wasn't the case. And because of my professional makeup skills and skincare skills, and I as a customer use the accessories, so I was a good example of a customer that would normally shop at Woolworths, but I also never did. And then I realized that the counter really needed, there was a lot of things missing. It had no color, it was just flat. And I took the initiative. When I sell to clients and they would not buy, I would ask them. I created a survey of questions I would ask, and I took the feedback clients gave me, and some of them was that there was no color. Our things is for a mature market, and that mature market wasn't buying those things. Like, for example, a mature lady of 60 doesn't travel anymore. And I'm just generalizing, doesn't travel anymore. She doesn't earn a salary anymore. So she don't need traveling bag sets. She doesn't need toiletry kits. And yeah, so we were catering for a market that wasn't selling anymore. They were not in working society any longer. And then my clients then also helped me understand who our actual competitors were. They were very different to what our store thought they were. And I'm talking about brand specific, so I'm not speaking on a holistic part. I'm speaking brand specific. So for my brand that I was working for, the competitors were completely different, and I then took the initiative to go and do competitive shopping. I looked at displays, designs. I looked at colors. I looked at how is it coming together. I looked at I'm not sure if I mentioned the price points, and I also looked at who's buying. I took a step back, and I also just looked at the clients that's buying, and so it was very surprising to me. It was the younger clientele whom doesn't have work yet. They are studying, but they get pocket money, and we are missing. We don't have anything for them. We are forgetting about them. And then I took it a step further. I also then looked at the cosmetics, and there was so much things missing. We were catering for very, very light skin. that's it. We don't just have very, very light skin in as our clients. So I managed to really write down the colors, the type of makeup that girls are buying, and I ask girls that's also coming to my counter that doesn't buy, because I would never able to sell to a young person, and when I started asking, they were very honest with me. They said, "Yes, nothing I like. I don't wear nude lipstick. I don't wear. There's no blushes. Your blushes you have is just matte." And from there, I compiled my research, and then I went to my second line, which is my area manager, and she was really impressed, and she asked me to present at an annual regional managers meeting. I was very nervous, of course, but I presented. And and they obviously was very impressed, because very shortly after that, my entire range got discontinued.
Wow.
Nationally.
Wow.
Woolworths discontinued. You can actually check on record. Woolworths discontinued their entire brand. They rebranded everything. They included up to nail polish colors. They have summer popping colors now. They have blushes. They have bronzers. They have body bronzers. Our skincare looks amazing. It's now unified, and they have everything. They have toner. They didn't have toners, and they would not have a facial scrub, so you couldn't do a facial. Wow. So from there, I could do a full facial, I could do a full makeover, and then I could sell them from body products to accessories together with their skincare and their makeup. And that is how I started growing the counter into a 2 million counter.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's a very great success, and it sounds like an initiative. But do you have any other example on the time when you showed initiative at work?
Yes, I do. I do. My passion for training really started early. So again, I'm mentioning Woolworths a few times because I was really able to develop at Woolworths, and I used to watch consultants that really struggled with their sales. And I couldn't stand by and just watch them fail. While I used to make my target halfway in the month, I would make my target. But I used to brag about my target because it's something to brag about. But then I noticed I didn't have a lot of friends because consultants were really battling. Their jobs was on the line, and it was just not nice to watch. Like they say, it's lonely up there. I know what it feels like, what it is, what they mean. And what I did was I befriended these consultants, but actually my objective was to actually give them sales training. Because I'm not a manager, I approached it on a friendship level, and I would also inspire them. Because I plan my day, I know when I come to the store what I'm going to do for the day. So I would ask them as well the day before. So what do you want to do tomorrow? What are you going to do tomorrow? And I'll tell them what I'm going to do. I might not tell them exactly what I'm going to do because I am a salesperson and it is competitive. Because I always have lots of ideas. I give them an idea of what I'm going to do to make them go home and think what they are going to do, because I discovered that's the case. They come with no plan and they stand there and hope for sales. So the one thing that I can really say what helped me as a consultant, do not leave your counter at the end of the day without inviting 3 clients for the next day. So whether you're not going to have sales, whether there's going to be no clients in the whole store, you are going to have 3 ladies that's coming in. You are going to be active. You attract other customers, wants to see what is happening. Other customers see that other customers are buying from you, so there must be something. You attract other customers by being busy. So my rule is never leave your shift without planning and inviting people for the next day. And that I would really install in consultants, and I find great joy seeing them succeed.
Wow, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need to tell us about you?
Okay, I'm not sure if this is job related, but I feel that it should be. I'm also a qualified TESOL teacher. TESOL means teaching English to speakers of other languages. So I am a qualified teacher. I am teaching at Scalabrini. I teach teach English to refugees. However, I find that in the workplace, sometimes as a consultant, I would receive information but I wouldn't understand it. It was either the English was too high or it was just not simplified for my level. So why I believe this is beneficial in this particular role is that I have the ability and the qualification to simplify information that needs to be relayed to the rest of the team. So I find that I used to look at management thinking that they want to look clever, but that is not helping the brand. To simplify, and also when I speak to a consultant, I can pick up their level of English. Then I know what level of how to simplify information for them, and also I can also interpret what they really want to say, and that I find is very key. So that is another passion that I have, and that I will also be able to use in this role.
Oh, that's very nice. Is there any question you want to ask us?
Yes, there is. Tell me, how will my progress be measured in this role? How will I know that I'm growing, that I'm doing well?
Okay. So that's not great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you to you too, and I'm looking forward to chatting to you soon.
Yes.